Well, hello, my beautiful coffee beans here on the Tiki Talk. I wanted to give you guys an update on the information. We came live here first before any other platform to let you guys know that there were some remains recovered about 11 miles from Miss Nancy Guthrie's house. We read some articles on the YT this morning. And, obviously we didn't really think it was her, but we were hopeful that, maybe this case would be coming to a close. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims. Long story short, we did get confirmation it is not Miss Nancy Guthrie, and I wanted to make sure that we came out and came live with the information. If you guys are unfamiliar, Miss Nancy Guthrie is an 84-year-old grandmother. She's the mother of Emmy-nominated and award-winning journalist Savannah Guthrie. She is a co-host on the Today Show, which is NBC. Long story short, her mother's been missing since February 1st, and nobody knows where she's at. And it's been over 6 months. So with all of these storms that were going on in Arizona, people have decided to go back out there and do additional searches for Miss Nancy Guthrie. And part of those searches are in the wash. Now, if you're not, you're probably like me saying, what in the world is a wash? Well, a wash is an area in Arizona that collects, let me get you guys on a stand, that collects water when it rains. It rains a lot. So this is like all this water is funneled into what they call this wash. And the wash is almost, when it's like stormy out, it's like rivers. Like these things flow like rivers. And just recently in one of their storms, somebody captured a Pima County Sheriff cruiser, an SUV, caught up in one of these rainstorms and literally floating down this wash. Well, Mark the Shark was out there. Mark the Shark is one of the content creators that have been covering the case, like boots on the ground, covering the case and also searching the area. He was not one that got arrested or cited or anything like that, but he has been a focal point in the case, the Nancy Guthrie case, as far as the content creators, the boots on the ground content creators that were out there. And just before they found these bones, it was quite interesting because Mark the Shark was in the area of Annie and Tommaso. Annie Guthrie is Nancy Guthrie's oldest daughter, and it's where she was at the night that the night before she disappeared. She was having dinner with her older daughter, her husband, and her grandchild. So they dropped her off at home. As you guys know the story, and we'll probably go over a little more of that story here in just a little bit. But Mark the Shark was over in that area, in the area where her oldest daughter, where she was having dinner that evening. And he found something that really smelled bad. He found a tarp and a bed sheet and a really, really strong odor. And then today we're finding out that yesterday, early in the morning, remains were found in one of these washes that were by like I-10 and some road. I don't remember the exact name of the road. So we reported that. It was not Nancy Guthrie, which by the time I read it, I think it was the Hindustan Times, I think is how you pronunciate it. But when I was reading their article, they had already had a source that said it was most likely not Nancy Guthrie. And I thought to myself, you know, how would they be able to determine that so quickly if they were remains? And so I thought about it and realized it must have still had the pelvis there, and the pelvis would identify whether it's a male or a female. I don't know if it was a female, they would be able to determine bones not being Nancy Guthrie's, but I can definitely believe that the pelvis determining that it was a male would automatically exclude Miss Guthrie as a possibility. So I do believe that this was a male, but I guess we'll find out. I didn't really read the article, but I did want to come back. No, they didn't. Artwig, they did not find her. They haven't found her. I don't think anybody knows where she's at. We had some breaking news. It was kind of sort of breaking news. I think it was kind of expected, but before we knew that the task force has dwindled down, I reported the task force dwindled down. I got a little birdie. I had an email at the time giving me some information. I didn't know how true it was, and so I threw that kind of out there on the YT channel. And then Ashley Banfield said, no, it's the same. Like a day or two later, she said, no, it's about the same amount of people on this task force. But my reporting was right, because like even a couple weeks after that is when Chris Nanos started referring to the task force as having just a handful of people. I think is the word that he used, is a handful of people. But it's bittersweet, because like I feel like Miss Nancy Guthrie is gone. And so I think we're going to find remains of her. So I was kind of hopeful that this would finally start moving this case into the right direction. Having the remains, sometimes you can derive some evidence and other, evidence, just evidence, right? And other information that you can derive from having the physical body or remains in your possession, custody, and control. So I was kind of hopeful, because I feel like we need a break in the case, and finding her would definitely be a break in the case. Oh, hey, the real Me Too. It's nice to see you. We got some coffee club, some YT coffee club over here. It's nice to see you guys. It's nice to see you. I decided to come live over here. I know there's still another live going on over there, but I was, looking at this, and I realized that they finally did publish that it officially was not her. So I figured, we did talk about it possibly being not being her. We talked about it being a homeless person, it being a male, even it being, because if you guys remember, there a little while ago, they found an ancient bone. Remember that? Like there was an ancient bone, like a bone that was found. I feel like it was Exploring with Jim. I feel like it was Exploring with Jim that found the bone, and come to find out it was like an ancient bone. It had been around, it was like 1,000 years old or something like that. So we even talked about it being something like that. Maybe that would also exclude her too, right? If it's another one of those ancient burial grounds where the wash just washed some bones up and stuff like that, that would exclude her. I mean, I can promise you, if you see 1,000-year-old bone, you'll understand why it's so easy to identify why it's 1,000-year-old bone, because your bone, even with osteoporosis, is not going to be as holy as a bone that it's 1,000 years old. Okay, a 1,000-year-old bone, it's in pretty rough shape. Okay, it's gonna be something that's like really rough shape. So I don't know. We have had ancient bones out there, and somebody emailed me. somebody emailed me and said that this is like, that they believe that this is a homeless person, and this would have been the third homeless person that has been found in the last few months in these types of areas, in these washes. So it sounds like they also have a horrible homeless population out there. And, you know, with the storms and stuff like that going on, they might be getting washed away, you know, like just drowning, you know. I mean, if it can pick up a Pima County cruiser and have it floating down the, you know, like the river, like the wash. It got caught in a wash. How it got caught in the wash, I have no idea. But it was just floating down this wash. And if it can do that to a cruiser, I mean, a person, a human being has no chance of not getting swept up in that. So it makes you wonder, you know, these homeless people, they're already vulnerable. You know, some of them have drug problems, alcohol problems. They probably just pass out anywhere that they can get a clean little, you know, flat surface that's doesn't have a cactus, you know, in it, and sleeps. So when torrential downpours come, and they just happen. Like when I was in Arizona, in Glensdale, it was dry when I was there. And then all of a sudden, it just opens up and just drops just gallons of water. And it just turned the streets into rivers. I can't express it. I didn't see any washes. I didn't see any of that, you know, because I was in Glendale. I was on main roads. And so I never even noticed the washes or anything. But I saw the little parts next to the side of the roads, and I saw they were rivers. So I can't imagine these washes. They have to be pretty strong with some current during these powerful storms and other weather type of events that go on in that area. So remains were found, have been confirmed. It's not Nancy. That's correct. We have no remains have been confirmed as not. I didn't change the background. This is what I used this morning when we were here. But no, the remains are not Miss Guthrie. We don't know who they are yet. I'm sure we'll find out in the next few days. I haven't heard them say ancient bones. When they found the ancient bones last time, they immediately said it. So this sounds like this is somebody recent. And I'm not hearing foul plays attributed to this particular case of these remains, but that could change. We don't know why this person was in the wash, but like I said, somebody did reach out to me and say that this is like the third homeless person pulled out of one of these washes. So is it a homeless person? Is it a homicide? Does it go with those stinky sheets and tarps that Mark the Shark had found earlier, like the day before they found these remains? But just say a prayer, because it's somebody's loved one. It's sad. I mean, it's sad. I think it might be a bigger story about how many unsolved missing cases are in Pima County or Arizona. I think it's a staggering number, because one thing that we noticed talking about like Nancy Guthrie's case and looking back on some of the earlier events, you know, before we realized how bad it was behind the scenes, they didn't want to go out in that desert. They literally made every excuse not to go out in the desert, not to put the dogs out in the desert, not to put, you know, four-wheelers out in the desert. Like, there's just no excuse not to have equipment to go out and search in the desert when you are a desert community. And to hear that really it's bothered me, and it still bothers me today, especially today where somebody is in a wash and there remains that have apparently been there for some considerable amount of time. What is a considerable amount of time? I have no idea, but the way I'm reading it is it was mostly bones. That means there would be some tissue still left there if it's mostly bones. Yes? I mean, that's the way I'm interpreting when I hear those types of words. So that tells me that yes, this person has been there for some time, but not as such a significant time where all the tissue is gone. So I know that this seems like it feels much fresher, much newer. Oh, is Dana in the chat? Dana, it's nice to see you. I don't know which one you are. I don't think I know which one you are, but it's nice to see you. But I was just like with the real me too. She was asking me a question. I said, I don't know. I said, you need to tell me when we're going to see her. You know, because she was talking about something. That's right. She was talking about Alec Murdaugh. I didn't even want to talk about Alec Murdaugh. So, Mama is over it. Oh, okay. Mama is over it. Oh, well, it's nice to see you. I love it. I love it. Oh, you in trouble? She was saying, I think we missed like an Alex Murdaugh thing. And I'm like, I don't care. What are we going to go? There it is. It's nice to see you there. Big hugs. And I think that just happened today, as a matter of fact. It was like today or yesterday. Don't mind me. I'm getting old. I'm starting to get forgetful. I'm acknowledging I'm getting forgetful. I don't know if I'm just overly worked and doing too many things at one time, or if I'm truly getting to that age where I need to start taking notes. You know, getting the Post-its up everywhere. Like, don't forget this. Don't forget that. Oh, good gracious. Oh, good gracious. So, getting back to these remains, though, the Pima County, man, how many people are missing? It was today. Okay, Dana, hey, my friend, so glad to see you. Oh, that's so sweet. I love it. Yeah, it was just today then. So you must have, your ears must have been ringing. Your ears must have been ringing. Your ears must have been ringing. Well, it's so good to see you. Oh, I love it. I love it. I hope you're doing well. We're going to be seeing you soon. I think she's saying like next month. I think we're going to be seeing you real soon. So it's nice to see you. But I feel like somebody sent me something that gave me the number of like 1,200 missing people. And I can't I feel like that's for the state, but somebody told me that was for Pima County. And I'm thinking, if they really have 1,200 people missing in Pima County, which I think is bizarre. I mean, first of all, if they truly have that many people, I feel like that's Arizona. You know, like for the whole state. But I don't know. I heard it. I didn't look it up. So don't even take it as, do your own research on it. But it's a lot of people. So how many people are we going to find? And why are they not going out in the desert and searching for people? I think that's my biggest problem with this whole story, is that here's another person in the wash. This is a person that's been missing for a considerable amount of time. Who is it? Are we going to find out that this person was reported missing and once again they just thought that this person just wandered off or didn't even go into the desert to search for this person? Or, you know, I'd like to know. It might be, you know, nobody might be at fault in any of this. And maybe this person wasn't even known to be lost because, again, it might have been a homeless person. Although they have family and their family does love them, they're kind of, you know, their family is used to not hearing from them for a considerable time, you know, amount of time, for a certain amount of time throughout, you know, periodically, whatever. And that could, I don't know, that could be an issue with the homeless people, but three in the matter of a few months in those washes? I don't know. I feel like I want it to be, I'm ready for Nancy Guthrie's case to be over. I'm ready to finally start getting some answers. I have to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. It sounds terrible, but it's not. It's not meant to be terrible. I kind of wish it was, just so we could start moving on, just so her family can finally get some closure and, you know, at least bury their mom, because I feel like she's gone. You know, I feel like there's no way that poor little lady would be able to survive something like this. I mean, heck, we're healthy individuals. We probably wouldn't be able to survive something like this, in all honesty. And to think that an 84-year-old frail lady with a pacemaker that needed literally medication to have her blood thin enough so she could live, you know, being startled like this and ripped out of her bed and out of her home. And, you know, I mean, many of us wouldn't survive this. So it's sad. I mean, I just can't imagine. We're all prepared for our parents to go first, but I can't imagine, you know, not knowing where your mom is after seeing such violence. I mean, we didn't actually witness the violence, but we did see the blood and we did see the masked man. So there was violence. No matter how you flip this coin, there was violence. And her poor mom's last days on earth were in fear. I can't imagine that feeling for that family. I mean, it's bad. It's enough. It's unnerving. And I don't really, and I'll be honest with you, this is just full transparency. I'm not a Savannah Guthrie fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a Savannah Guthrie fan at all. I'm disappointed in the family, quite frankly, but I can still feel bad for them. I mean, I can't imagine. I think of my own family, my own mom. You know, I try to put myself in people's position, and that has got to be the most excruciating pain outside of losing your child. No, Grandy, they have not. They have not. It wasn't Nancy. You know, and that's what I was just talking about. You know, I feel bad because, you know, a piece of me wishes it was her for closure. I mean, I don't want her to be dead, but like I said, I don't know if I could survive what that lady has been through. And I can't imagine somebody that has a pacemaker that needs medication that she doesn't have to survive. I can't imagine that she's living, you know? So my heart bleeds for Savannah, and I'm saying that from a very personal and human place. And it's not because I'm, you know, doting or, you know, all over the family and stuff like that. That's not it. It's just, I truly feel bad for her. I can't, even Seth Rogers is, I think he's still live on the YT. If you guys want to go over and check him out, I'm going to be getting off here shortly. He's, you know, he doesn't know what happened to his son. He's struggling. I've noticed an uptick of time, you know, on YouTube and stuff like that. And I truly believe it's because he needs to talk about his son. I think he misses his son so much. He just wants to talk about him. He can't be with him. I think it helps him to think of his son, to think of those happy memories. And I think that's why he's doing it, because I've noticed he's answering a lot of questions and talking a lot about his son. And it feels, and I see, like, you know, I talked to him several times throughout the month, and, you know, a couple times each week. And so you kind of, you know, hear the, you know, you know, the down. So when you see him kind of smiling and, you know, being able to kind of relive some of those experiences with his son, I think it really does help him through these really tough times of silence and not knowing, you know. And I kind of feel bad because Savannah and her family doesn't get that, and like, just like Seth, you know, there's a good portion of people that still believe Seth had something to do with his son's disappearance. And if you aren't familiar with that case, he was working for a jail. He worked the midnight shift. He was literally on camera. He couldn't even leave the campus. They're not allowed to leave the campus, and he's not even allowed to have his phone on. They have to check their phone in the lockers. The only time he's able to leave is bathroom breaks, and his required breaks and meal breaks, and he has to stay again there, and he's in the cafeteria. You know, so no matter where that man goes, he was on camera the entire time, except whenever he went to the men's bathroom, right? So the idea that he had anything to do with his son's disappearing is ludicrous. But still, there's you know, people that believe he did, and he had to deal with that, and he still came out. He was still, you know, in everybody's face with about his son. He wears shirts with his son's face all over it. You know, he lets everybody know that his son's missing. And I think that, you know, with all the money that they have, the Guthries have, I think that's the one disappointment that we have. I think that the true crime community has with the Guthrie family is just them not really, I mean, doing anything. They're not wearing shirts. They're not advocating regularly. I mean, we hear crickets from Annie and Cameron, and we only hear, you know, once in a while from Savannah, really. We don't hear from anybody about this case. Nobody's really hired any private investigators to, you know, keep the investigators accountable, especially with the, you know, the button of heads in the investigation. I mean, and then no missing person flyers that they sponsored or produced for people to hand out. I mean, you're talking about a family that's put up $1 million reward and they won't even sponsor flyers. And then going out of their way to have YouTubers arrested. I mean, their behavior has been disappointing, to say the least. You would expect them to be so appreciative of the attention like many of the other cases and families are, but, you know, Savannah Guthrie is just bred by a different cloth. She's New York, and Hollywood, California. I mean, these people are just they're just different. They don't think like we do, like normal people do, okay? They don't function like normal people do. Like many of us, if we were in the same situation, we wouldn't be working. We would be trying to find our mother. We would be, you know, out there in the woods or in the desert looking if we had to. You know, we would definitely be renting and raising money for, you know, four-wheelers or something, just something, anything. Like something's better than nothing. And it's just not that way. You know, I don't want to be too disrespectful because, like I said, I do feel bad at what they're going through and how much pain this is, but I don't know if I could just not be totally involved, you know? No, Janie, they didn't. It wasn't her. It wasn't her. And it's sad. It's sad. I wish we could get the family some closure, you know? I would always pray that she would be safe and sound, but I don't like false hope. I'm brutally honest. I try to be brutally honest, and like I tell my audience on the YT, I never believed she was okay. I never, even leaving the house, even the blood trail out of the house, I had already knew it was significant. I thought she was dead or dying on her way out of the house. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that I still think she's alive, I didn't even think she was alive through the night. I mean, you get what I'm saying? So I don't know. But someone knows the truth. That is 100. That is 100. And I keep bouncing around whether a single assailant or multiple assailants. I feel like there had to have been a secondary person involved somewhere. And it's because I truly believe that antenna in the pocket of the assailant at the front door on February 1st was a walkie-talkie. And I don't know anybody that works alone and has a walkie-talkie. Like, what's the purpose of a walkie-talkie? So, was that person at the house? I don't know. Was the person sitting in a car? I don't know. Was that person on the inside the house? I don't know. But I've been bouncing around a long time, and I still can't define whether it's one person or multiple people. But every time I really try to eliminate one or the other, I can't, right? There's always something where I might be misunderstanding. Even the antenna that's poking out of his pocket, it might be something else, you know? And I just might not realize what it is. Somebody even said it might be a house phone, you know, one of those because they make house phones so different now than we're used to. The cordless phones look a lot different. Not too many people get cordless phones. That it might have been a cordless phone, implying that it was a neighbor, that it would have been a neighbor that was close enough to have the cordless phone. So, I mean, you do question what you're seeing, and when you question it, you want to know if you're seeing it right. So even something as simple as trying to make a decision on whether I think this is a single assailant or multiple assailants, I can't even do it because, again, like I said, every time I try to exclude one or the other, there's always a variable there that puts them back on the table. Anything for a buck on onto ton. I don't know what that means. Kells. Roaming with Kyle, she never said Nancy's remains were found. Maybe listen. Oh, okay. Oh, you're saying that I never read the story. You should probably listen to the story. As a matter of fact, everything that I brought up in this show, I brought up in the YT show about the ancient bones. It could be the ancient bones, and I went through some good biological information for your education, about your skull being what can help define how old you are when you're dealing with skeletal remains. Your pelvis can identify, if there's nothing but a pelvis, it can identify whether it's a man or a woman. Your pelvis can also show you whether you've given birth or not as a female. There's a lot of things that can be had that we even went through other things like petechia. How do you get petechia? So anybody that says that my earlier show was for clicks and views or anything like that, clearly you didn't watch, because if you did, you would have been educated. Everything that I talk about, I show all the receipts on my show, so there's no misunderstanding where the information came from. So we're always in the good graces of the accuracy gods. So do what you will, but you ain't running this chick off. You ain't running this chick nowhere, because we work very hard to make sure that we are very accurate as we can be. Now when I'm on boots on the ground, then you can blame me for the information if it's wrong, because I'm the one reporting it. But when I'm sitting in the studio or right here where I'm at, and as you can see, I'm dressed for bed. When I'm here, I'm relying on other people that are out there. So if they make a mistake, I ain't owning that mistake, okay? Because I'm not the one that brought the mistake. I'm reading where I'm reading. I'm showing you where I'm reading it from. I'm showing you the reliable sources where I'm getting the information from. And I educate you, and you make your own decision. I don't make your decision for you. So if you think that's clicky and viewy, then, well, I don't come on here to say, oh, I hope nobody looks at me. I hope nobody finds my show. I mean, just to throw that out there. I mean, I'm not doing that either. I'm not sitting here trying to waste an hour of my time so nobody sees me or nobody learns any new information. That's kind of counterproductive and kind of a oxymoron, if you ask me. But we have some children on these platforms instead of adults. But either way, we get through it. We get through it well. But there's your update. We came with a story this morning that the remains were out there. We didn't know if they were Nancy's. We were going to open it up for discussion on the YT. Many people showed up on the YT. We had almost 20,000 or over 20,000 views on our show this morning, where we broke down a lot of this stuff and talked about whether or not it could be Nancy's. And we concluded by the end of the show that it was most likely not Nancy's remains. And then, of course, later in the day, I think it was 5 or 6 hours after that reporting, we did get confirmation that it truly was not Nancy. So this is the first time I've been able to come live, because I was listening to another show and I was getting ready to go to bed, and I'm like, well, let me talk about this one thing. I never gave anybody an update on the remains story, and I didn't want to wait until first thing in the morning to drop the news. So, ta-da! 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 And I don't have to worry about it because my best friend's out of town. So tomorrow, Delilah doesn't get a play date. So I can take a nap. So I decided to stay up late. There you have it. Now you guys know. Now you guys know. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, Please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And one last thing. If you guys, not just Manatee County, but if you guys are anywhere in the state of Florida, please don't forget, get out and vote. We are having our primaries. Right now, early voting is open. Our primaries will be happening on the 18th. So we're 4 days away from knowing who will ultimately be on our ballot in November. So get out and vote, everybody. Get out and vote if you are in Florida or any state that is voting. Please do your part. This is an important vote for the USA. Every single county in America, it is important for you to get out and vote. Democrat, Republican, it does not matter. You need to put your vote in. So please vote with your conscience and get out and vote. Thank you. Love you. We'll see you later. Bye-bye, guys.